Alright guys, so today I want to go ahead and take a look at Joe Burrow's injury. We got a little small update on the injury, so I want to go ahead and talk about it. Also the recovery time for the injury he does have. And of course, keep in mind he is having season-ending surgery for this injury. So obviously not only is he going to have to get the surgery, which again, we'll find out in a second, is that he's also going to have to go through a recovery stage, which is going to also take some time. Obviously, listen, we right now are, in November, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, that's 8 months before the next season starts. So it's not like it's detrimental in the short term of like, oh, well, if you get a season-ending injury, then we're, is he going to be ready for next season? Easily, he should be ready for next season. So here is the situation we got. So first off, he will be picking his doctor sometime later this week. By the end of this week, he's going to be picking his doctor for the surgery, which means that the surgery will most likely start happening or go through sometime relatively soon. So he's going to start the surgery probably as soon as possible, in all honesty, because he wants to get into that, recovery stage / rehab as quick as possible too, to recover as quick as possible from this wrist injury. Keep in mind that he tore a ligament in his wrist, so this is going to be a very interesting injury recovery. What I mean by that is he's going to have to learn how to use his wrist again, how to use his hand again. And this is I would say more of it's definitely obviously an injury to his wrist, but it's more of a psychological injury too, because, at the end of the day, you have to not only use your wrist again, you have to kind of get in the mindset of, you know what, just because it's happened to me once doesn't mean it's going to happen again. A lot of times with some of these injuries, especially injuries like this, where you saw he couldn't grip the ball, right? He couldn't throw the ball. What's going to happen is that kind of stuff does get in your head and you remember that. So you're like, ooh, if I ever have to throw the ball again, I have to kind of get out of the mindset that is going to happen again, right? So it's a psychological issue and a psychological recovery, and it's also a physical recovery. Zach Taylor did say that he thinks this type of operation doesn't come with long-term concerns, which is positive. So for recovery time and how long it's going to take to heal, it is going to take some time. So obviously we're in a positive right now because we're in November, so we have 8 months before the next season does start. But for recovery time period, it's going to be 3 to 6 months after surgery. Usually 6 months at the minimum. I'll say it like that. Usually it is 6 months. Your physical therapist will show you the basics of protecting your injured area, preventing future injuries while you become more active as before. Remember to wear your brace even if you don't feel any pain. And again, like I said, this is all, a lot of it is psychological. A lot of it is going to be, just the pain aspect, but also, again, as it says right here, sometimes you don't feel the pain, but you can re-hurt your, you can re-hurt it if you don't wear your brace. So, again, right now, let's say hypothetically speaking, in the perfect scenario here, it is 6 months. Keep in mind, 3 to 6 months here is for the normal person, not an athlete. So, let's say 6 months here at, period. Okay, 6 months from now would put us around, I think that's around May. Which again, April, June, July, August. So that's right around the time of training camp, right? A month before training camp. So it's going to be a long process, right? And it's not going to be an easy process either. And obviously any setbacks, the only good thing is then we still have June, July before August, well, even August then, before September. So we have 3 months, we have 9 months pretty much until the actual season kicks off. So, as long as he's okay in 9 months, we'll be fine. He should be okay in 6 months. Now, again, that's, obviously what's for thinking right now and hoping and, praying everything works out for him in his surgery. And again, the fact he's getting it done as soon as he's going to get it done is a very positive note. This means that, again, he's trying to get back as quick as possible. But, this is definitely something, moving forward, that is going to always be on the back of his mind. I know it's going to be a lot of back of the fans' minds too, is that, how can we prevent this from happening in the future? And the sad part is, this type of stuff you can't. You really can't. I said it many times when it comes to, and I know I said, this is technically on the play that he got injured, it was technically a non-contact. Now, this, based on what I understand, started with the Texans game where he got hurt in the Texans game, getting this injury, and then it just progressed even worse and worse going into this upcoming game. Going into the Ravens game. So, nothing really you can do to prevent this. It's just, it is what it is at the end of the day. And I know it sucks to say that, but it's an injury. You get hit in the wrong way, you hit the ground the wrong way, you tear something. And when you're a quarterback throwing the ball as much as they're throwing the ball, you're going to pretty much have to deal with this. And again, like I said, it does suck, but it is what it is. It's part of football, it's part of life, and we'll just kind of go on and see how this ends up turning out. And again, like I said, I hope it turns out very positive. But 6 months is going to be, a long recovery time for Joe. And I know with how Joe is, it probably won't be that crazy because he gives me that I like to be kind of by myself, alone, chilling vibe. So I don't think it's going to be that crazy for him personally. But, it's definitely one of those mindsets for the team. It's like, hey, listen, we don't got a leader. We don't got a captain for 6 months. So they're going to have to really start building around other guys. And they're going to have to see what they can do moving forward. We have A.J. McCarron. We do have Jake Browning. I will say like this, because I know it's like, oh, well, the season's lost, the season's over with. Season's not technically over with, right? And everyone on this team is going to try their hardest to win every single game. That's just how it works, right? There is no tanking in the NFL. I know as fans, we create this narrative of like, oh, yeah, we're going to tank, we're going to tank, we're going to tank. But in reality, players do not tank. The reason why is because players lose jobs. Coaches lose jobs, players lose jobs when they tank. So no one's going to tank on this team. Everyone's going to go out there and play their fullest, try their best to win every single game, and that's going to be that. Even if, as fans we're like, oh, get a better draft pick. That's not how players think. That's not how coaches think. So I'm going to tell you right now that we're going to try to win every game we can. And we're probably going to win some of these games. And I would say probably win some of these games. Like, I think we're going to beat the Colts. I think we could beat the Vikings. I know the Broncos beat them last night. I think we can beat the Vikings. I think we can go ahead and beat the Steelers 1 or 2 times. Who knows? We might beat the Steelers twice, right? You look at yesterday's game with the Browns. That Steelers offense really doesn't look that great. So if our defense can get going, we could do that. That's 4 wins right there. That puts us at 9 wins on the season. If we beat the Browns in the final week of the season, we're 10 wins. We're going to be a playoff team. Now, what does that mean when it comes to what will we do in the playoffs? Well, we don't know, right? Right now, we're in kind of the limbo area. I know Joe Flacco just signed with the Browns, but we're in the limbo area of not knowing what we have and what we can do moving forward. We're going to have Jake Browning and A.J. McCarron as our 1A, 1B. I guarantee you if Jake Browning starts struggling, they will put in A.J. McCarron. They're going to go with him because A.J., obviously fan favorite, knows the system. Well, not the system. Well, he does actually know the system because he's been on our press squad now for a couple weeks. So he does know our system, but he doesn't know as in the aspect of like he hasn't played under a system in a real game yet. But he does know, how to play quarterback. He was a high draft pick for a reason. He knows what he's doing, and he was very successful in college. So we're going to see what they go with. But at the end of the day, I very much believe here that, we could, technically speaking, make the playoffs. And if we can make the playoffs, man, is this going to get so weird being in the playoffs with A.J. McCarron again. And if we go win a Super Bowl with A.J. McCarron, this is a Nick Foles-esque type of scenario. Carson Wentz goes out, Nick Foles comes in, and they go win a Super Bowl with him. If we win a Super Bowl with A.J. McCarron, this fan base is going to be so split between Joe and AJ, it's not even funny. But tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.